Actually, we, as SESCRA, when we came in, we were very narrow and selfish, which was good. We looked at the issue we promote because we've been promoting and advancing the women's land and property rights in the context of extractives. So we were narrow to that. So when we came to the Ministry of Gender, they were broader. They said, no, this is a good thing, and we need CSOs to get on board. We need also to serialize it. Like we have more meeting, eventually they start kind of being issue specific. We focus on an issue, drive it to a conclusion, and we have government action happening. And that way we will be really following and helping the government to implement. That's why here we have the MDs.
Protecting rights of women, pastoralists, and community landowners. We have begun the process of registering communities into communal land associations. And we think this is one major strategy for protecting the rights of communities where they are, so that their ancestral lands are protected. But also, besides that, we want to see that they productively use the land which we are going to secure. That a communal land association has two aspects: the aspect of ownership and the aspect of management of land. That will then empower communities to manage their own lands, to develop what you would call their own bylaws to regulate how they are going to use land. Now, in terms of how women are going to benefit, under that framework, 1/3 of the management committee of these communal associations are supposed to be women, and we'll insist that at least a minimum of 1/3 should be women.
Interfacing with a number of civil society organizations here, more especially those to do with the plight of women. Yeah. We would like to know from you, because they're raising a lot of issues to do with whether the ministry has ensured the monitoring of the International Convention on economic, social, and cultural rights. Yes. What has been the progress or the missing links?
We have initiated programs on youth livelihood. You know that. It's a moving brand. We have a program on women, on women entrepreneurship program. We have interesting programs coming on green jobs for the different groups. And we have come up with policies, like a policy on gender-based violence. It wasn't there before. And it's addressing the plight of the vulnerable women in different projects. But also we have a social protection policy and expanding social protection program, which is very robust. You have seen the elderly people receiving some social security pay. But also we have come up with particular legislations. We have institutions like the Equal Opportunities Commission enforcing social, economic, and cultural rights. But as I speak now, there are proposals coming up with laws on social impact assessment and accountability in large infrastructure and investment projects.
When it comes to inheritance of land, they're still being looked at as social misfits in society, that they do not have the right to own land or to inherit land.
Yes.
What are you doing about that?
Well, and indeed we have got together with the Center for Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, CESRA, a leading civil society organization in this effort. They carried out a mapping which we participated in together. We carried out a mapping to do with what are the barriers to access to land for women. And some of those hindrances have been identified. We have shared them with the Ministry of Lands. And we hope that remedial action can be taken. But others are quite robust. For example, we are calling for the establishment of the land fund. A land fund that should compensate some of these people who are totally disfranchised and disempowered, who do not have a livelihood, but they must survive. And these and other few reforms could ease the plight of vulnerable women.
Is that not one of the way of marginalizing women in community? And you are docket. Have you had such a complaints of domestic violence in homes where women are trying to demand for their rights. In regard
Actually,
to land
domestic
inheritance.
violence is not necessarily only against women. It is also against men. And you have seen that very many times. Actually, men don't talk about it. They suffer and probably die from it. So domestic violence is beyond just one gender or one aspect of gender. It is an ecosystem that we all need to focus on and cure. So, and redressive mechanisms call for robust investment, because it's not only the Ministry of Gender. We have the police investigation. We have all those resident state attorneys, DPP. We have the doctors, health, who must take up evidence, medical part of it. And we have the civil society, the psychosocial, counseling and building up a livelihood. So it's beyond just mere mention that we are hitting below the belt. No.
Sir Bernard,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.